Hello, this is Paul Hutchins. Don't forget, if you're new to this channel, to like and subscribe to it. In that way you'll get all the updates that come available as soon as they're available and I get a chance to watch them. This particular channel has been put together by me to try and add value to you in terms of providing information you might find interesting or you might be able to engage in around sustainability, renewable energy and climate change. Eco2 Solar recently conducted a survey of 1,000 homeowners and renters to find out what their views were on sustainability and renewable energy and climate change generally. In fact, if you want to see the results of the survey, click on the description below and you'll be able to see the results for yourself. Some of them were really quite interesting actually. So 68% of people, for example, said they are taking some measures within their house to reduce their energy, for example, turning lights off or reducing their heating. Or 57% of people are saying they're looking at cycling and walking more. So some really interesting results there. And it's been really interesting for us to see what people really think on the street as opposed to what we think they should think. Affordability is a key issue when it comes to anything sustainable, and I think if we're going to make it mainstream, if we're going to make it the sort of behaviour that people are very happy to take into their normal lives, we need to make sure things are affordable and accessible. A lot of things have been done already, of course. So if you look, for example, at solar is now 90% cheaper than it was 10 years ago. So that's a massive decrease in costs brought about by economies of scale and increased take-up, and that's just in the UK. Other things like, for example, batteries and battery storage for the home, potentially, or for buildings generally, batteries that are going to be in electric cars are going to see a similar sort of price curve, I think. Also, the new building regulations that are coming out this year as a stepping stone towards the Future Home Standard in 2025, a significant step towards making us more sustainable in our new homes, and obviously the things that can be done as well to existing homes to make them more sustainable and to bring energy bills down. So ultimately, it should be around creating business models that enable people to afford things, but also, I suppose, it's about people increasing their priorities to more sustainable things as opposed to things that are harming the environment. I think people should look at solar as a home improvement. I mean, actually, the average price of a solar energy system onto a home is probably between £3,000 and £4,000, which is, I guess, rather less than people think. And if you look at it, solar actually is one of the few home improvements you make that actually have a payback. So anything else you do really is done for improving your environment. There's no payback on it other than maybe increasing the value of your home, which solar can also do. But solar will actually give you a payback in terms of energy savings, and most home improvements don't do that. The Feedin Tariff, in my view, has done exactly what it was supposed to do. It's done its job. And what it was designed to do really was to bring in an incentive in the early days of a new technology that was very expensive and needed some time to get traction in the market. It starts off with a fairly high incentive, and it's reduced over time to a much lower incentive over 9 years or so. So over that period, the price of solar panels has come down by about 90%. So really it's done its job, and I think from that perspective it should be seen as a success. I think that the government could always do more, and certainly people always feel that government should be doing more. But actually, if you look at what they've done, it's been quite significant. With feed-in tariffs, for example, have been a great success, as we talked about just now. But also on top of that, if you look at the new building regulations that are coming in this year, and also for 2025, we're looking to reduce the use of energy in new buildings by 80% from 2025. That's quite significant. Also, there's a new scheme called the Smart Export Guarantee that people may or may not have heard of, and that means if you've got a solar energy system or any form of renewable energy on your home or your building, you can sell that energy now into a marketplace. And there's a competition going on between
electricity suppliers, electricity providers to provide the best rate and trying to attract more customers. So as we start to introduce new technologies, like for example battery storage, so we can store energy to use later. When we have time of use tariffs, which means that energy is more expensive, maybe at 6 o'clock at night when everybody wants to use it, and it is at 3 o'clock in the morning when people don't. If we can take advantage of that, you'll actually find the benefits of having some solar energy, being able to store it and sell it at a more expensive time could be a real benefit. Along with things like, for example, what we call demand side response, which really is using things like smart plugs. So things are switching on when you want them and not when you don't. So you're bringing things on when the sun's shining, but not when it isn't. And also some new things, for example, which will come down the line, like peer-to-peer trading. So you can actually use solar energy across the road and sell it to them, as opposed to using it yourself because you're not in. So there's all sorts of things coming down the pipeline, I think, which are going to make these things a lot more attractive. So a lot of these things have not really been very well publicized. So I'm trying to start that now by telling you about it, but watch this space and watch this channel, because there's going to be lots and lots of new things coming down the line that are going to be advantageous from an energy sustainability perspective, but also to bring down those energy bills.
I think all actions make a difference, and I think, as I've said before, it's really important that it gets into our mindset that we need to be doing something about this, and it becomes a priority in our lives. So, if you can't afford to do much or you haven't got time, just do what you can. So, take the bus instead of driving, walk instead of driving, maybe cycle to work occasionally. Have a vegan meal or don't eat meat, and maybe look at the little things that you can do that make a difference.